All right, let's talk about a strange paradox you see at the very top of the business world. The smartest, most skilled leaders who are, for some reason, completely silent. It's a huge missed opportunity, and we call it the execution gap. I mean, you've seen this, right? You have these brilliant founders and CEOs who are absolute masters at running their companies, but when it comes to the public conversation, they're ghosts. They always say they're just too busy, but is that really it? We think there's something much, much deeper going on here. And that brings us to this core idea, the execution gap. Now, this isn't about having a messy calendar or not being good at time management. No, this is a major breakdown in strategy. It's the failure to use the most powerful weapon you have, your own voice, your own authority, to actually shape your market. So what really happens when a leader falls into this gap? Well, it's not a harmless mistake. It has a very real price tag, something we call the silence tax. And we can actually put some numbers to it. You know, this tax isn't just some abstract concept. It creates real, tangible friction that slows your entire organization down. It makes every single thing harder. And yeah, it absolutely hits your bottom line, hurting your sales, your ability to hire good people, and even your company's total valuation. Let's start with sales. Look at this number, 379 days. That is the average B2B sales cycle right now. When you, as a leader, are silent, your potential customers are spending a huge chunk of that time just trying to figure out if they can even trust you. A leader with a voice shortens that trust-building phase and gets to revenue way, way faster. Okay, next up, talent. $22,500, that's what a single bad hire at a mid to senior level can cost you. When your leader is invisible, your employer brand is weak. That means you pay more for talent, you wait longer to fill key roles, and you get worse applicants. Your silence is a direct tax on your recruiting. And this one is the real kicker. Valuation. A jaw-dropping 44% of a company's market value is directly linked to the CEO's reputation. So in a market that moves this fast, silence isn't golden. It's seen as a lack of vision, and it is directly chipping away at the value of your entire company. So if the cost is so painfully high, why do so many smart leaders stay quiet? Well, the answer isn't that they don't want to, it's actually rooted in how our brains are wired. To get out of this busyness trap, we have to understand the science behind it. Okay, let's get into the science just a little bit. It's called cognitive load theory, and it basically says our working memory, think of it like the RAM in your computer, is super limited. Every single task you do is fighting for a piece of that limited space. So when a busy leader even thinks about creating content, their brain just flashes a big red warning light. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how this mental effort breaks down. Your brilliant ideas? That's intrinsic load. The powerful frameworks you could be sharing? That's germane load, the good stuff. But the killer, the part that sinks the whole ship, is the extraneous load, all the tedious, mechanical junk like typing, formatting, editing, and scheduling. Because that part is so draining, your brain labels the entire activity a waste of energy and tells you to run away. And this is the strategic mistake that trap leads to. Leaders get stuck on the left side of this chart in linear operational work where 1 hour in gets you 1 hour out. They completely miss the fact that building authority is exponential. One great idea, one powerful framework can reach and influence thousands of people at the same time. It's the ultimate force multiplier. But even when leaders get the logic, there's another bigger hurdle. It's a psychological one, and it's what stops them from ever delegating this. We call it the authenticity trap. I really want you to let this quote sink in for a second. So many leaders believe that if they aren't the ones physically typing out the words, the message is somehow fake or inauthentic. But that's just wrong. Authenticity comes from the truth and the quality of your ideas, not from which fingers happen to hit the keyboard. And this brings us right to the delegation paradox. Because your voice is so tied to your identity, your gut reaction is to never let anyone else near it. But that's the very thing that keeps you trapped and prevents you from ever scaling your most valuable asset. So these are the culprits. The fear that you'll lose control, that someone else will make you sound like a boring corporate robot. There's that 80% rule guilt, that feeling that if someone can only do it 80% as well as you, it's a failure. Then you have the authenticity anxiety we just talked about, and this bias that you and only you are creative enough to capture your voice. Just seeing these laid out is the first step to getting past them. Okay, so how do we actually break free from all this? The answer isn't to work harder or magically find more time in the day. The answer is to change the way you think about it entirely. You need to stop thinking like a writer and start thinking like an architect. This right here is the reframe that changes the entire game. Start thinking of your voice as an API, an application programming interface. In the tech world, an API is just a standard, scalable way for different computer programs to talk to each other. Your voice should do the exact same thing for your vision. Let's break that down. Standardization just means your core messages are consistent. Encapsulation means your audience gets the shiny, polished final product. They don't need to see the messy process behind the scenes. And the most important one, scalability, means you can communicate with thousands of employees, customers, and investors all at once 24/7. So how does this API actually work? Through modular content. The whole idea is to stop creating one-off things from scratch. Instead, you break down your expertise into reusable Lego bricks. You might have a story module, a data module, a key insight module, all ready to be assembled in different ways. And this is what that system actually looks like in practice. A simple 4-step content engine. Phase 1, you spend just 30 minutes a month getting your raw ideas out. Phase 2, a system turns that into a dozen or more pieces of content. Phase 3, you take 5 or 10 minutes to review it, and boom. Phase 4, it's all automatically distributed. This is about architecture, not effort. And does this approach actually work? Well, the data shows that a systems-based approach can improve your content production efficiency by 320%. This is proof that you can massively scale your voice while dramatically reducing the time you spend on it. The key isn't finding more time, it's building a better system. So let's bring this all together. The journey from being silent to actually resonating with your market isn't about becoming a better writer or a social media expert. It's about a fundamental shift in how you see your job as a leader. If you only take one single thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. That feeling of I don't have enough time is just a symptom. It's not the real disease. The disease is a badly designed system for your own voice. If you fix the system, the time problem vanishes. Forever. You know, at the end of the day, execution is all about building great systems that get more done with less effort. Your voice is probably the most powerful piece of software your company has. So the only real question left is, isn't it finally time you gave it an upgrade?